Welcome to my tutorial on how to build a tree greenhouse. I did this in Minecraft 360 on the Xbox just to show you guys what to do. Basic equipment I used is glass, dirt, doors. I did put some pressure plates in made of wood. This is a village that I discovered on a map, and then I built the fence around it just to keep the villagers in for trading for possible future videos or something. What I'm doing now is I'm going to be measuring and digging out a tract of land just to get the greenhouse started. I like to keep a little bit of a buffer between objects, so what I'm doing is I'm spacing out the greenhouse and I'm putting dirt down for a cornerstone, and using that as the basis I'll be building a 9x9 square. It's actually more like 18 blocks by 18 blocks, but I like to space them out, so it'll be 9x9 trees on the inside. I use sand because it prevents, when it's properly lit, it prevents zombies and creepers and endermen from just being around. I find it easier to do with sand than grass, but it really can be done any way you want as long as it's properly lit. So and I'm filling all these holes in with sand now. As we go on, I'll show you where I place the doors, and hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense once it's built. You'll definitely need a lot of shovels for this. I only needed about 3, but you remember you gotta dig the sand up and wherever you place it, and the dirt and stuff like that, and so I've almost got the border done. This will set up the base design. Also, sand can help, keep a track of everything. Just at night or during the day, you'll be able to space it out a little bit evenly if you can keep track of the color, so it makes it a little bit easier to see doing it in sand. Now, I did do this on a survivor world, so I will have to go to bed shortly and wait for the next morning. You might be thinking, oh, why don't you put torches up or something? I didn't feel like it at the moment. My bed's not far away, so I just finished up this little piece and decided to get back. Torch placement is pretty important. As you can see, I've littered this village full of torches so that the villagers can roam around and do whatever they want, not have to worry about creatures killing them. Now, once we get the dirt built, first thing we'll do is we'll build a block wall of dirt, just one pillar wall about 8 blocks high, and you want it 8 blocks high because according to the Minecraft wiki and just experimentation, if you ever try it, trees will start branching out after 8 blocks. So technically 7 blocks, but so what we do is we'll build our ceiling at the 8th block from the ground up. And we got the base done. That's 9x9. So right in the middle, taking out a block there, and I do it on every side. And that the reason is this will be the doors will be placed. Now 9x9 will give you 81 trees. I've taken out 4, so it should give me 77 trees total once this thing's fully grown. And I like placing my doors down just for measurement reasons. Now, 4 dirt blocks standing up, that represents the corners of the greenhouse. I got this idea years ago playing Alpha Minecraft, once I realized that trees grow, and it's especially helpful in Minecraft 360 because the map's only so big, so it's kind of important to conserve resources whenever possible. And you know, building a greenhouse is a easy way to protect, you know, what you want to do and have a little bit of control over it. So what I'm doing here is I'm planting the dirt blocks in the ground. The greenhouse itself will be mostly made out of glass, so it allows for light to come in. I can use the sunlight and, you know, during the day, and then the torches at night to keep the trees continuously growing. And I think at this point I am getting a little hungry, so I'm going to go grab some food before I do any more building. Now on all my maps I like to build a tree greenhouse. I also do regular farming greenhouses too, which I might show in a later video should this get it, you know, some views. So what I'm doing here now is I want to show everybody, you know, what I've completed up to this point. 9x9, you know, grid of dirt blocks, doors in the middle on each side, and then I have cornerstones made of dirt just for measurement reasons, so you can see what it looks like. And I should be putting up the cornerstone. It'll be a straight dirt pillar with a ladder on it, 8 blocks high, and you can rip down, you know, the dirt blocks when your greenhouse is built, but I like keeping it up just in case I need access to the ceiling. And here's the 8th block. That, you know, exactly 8 blocks high, with the 8th block being the ceiling. And what I'm going to do now is crouch, and you do this by holding down, it'd be shift on the PC or the right trigger on your Xbox 360 controller, and if you crouch, you'll never fall off a ledge, which is very helpful in making this, or surviving lava, or just surviving falling. But that's all I'm doing, is I'm just crouching, and I turn around backwards, and I'm walking backwards and placing glass. And I think here, yep, I let go just to show people what happens when you uncrouch, and when I get back up there, I'll go back into third person mode and show people what it looks like to not crouch. Or show them what it looks like when I'm crouching. A lot easier to do this in first person, but you know, it's third person just so you can see what you're doing. Always good to go a little slow, take your time. Now the reason I'm building the greenhouse 8 blocks high, like I said before, trees start to branch after so much, and I've discovered that 8 blocks is about as high as you can go before the trees start branching out. If you do it this way, it will allow all the trees inside to grow to a somewhat uniform height. So they all get about 6 blocks high. So, you know, you take 6 blocks times 77, and then, you know, that's like, I don't know, 6 times 7, 300 something. So it's easily 5 to 7 stacks of tree wood, which can turn into, you know, 20 to 28 stacks of wood blocks. So it can definitely help you grow stuff. And I do, like I said, I do this on the 360. Just, it allows me to go slower. Now I'm still crouching here, just to go slow, because I don't want to fall off or anything. And I gotta, you know, fill in this entire square full of glass. You're gonna need a lot of glass. Probably takes 8 or 9 stacks minimum just to do a full tree house. And you don't have to enclose it either. I do, just, you know, it looks like a greenhouse and it makes it for good protection and stuff like that. On the PC, it takes about an hour or 2 for a full stack of trees. You know, with this thing completely full. 360, I think, took a little bit longer. Near the end of the video, I'll have a, you know, I waited and put a video up of what it looked like, you know, with it fully grown. Now, I'm still crouching, but you don't have to, and I think a little bit into the video I stopped crouching just because I realized I was crouching. But it doesn't hurt to go a little slow. Take your time. It's kind of the awesome thing in Minecraft, is you can take as much or as little time as you want to build stuff. And I probably could have done this in creative mode, but I wanted to show everybody, you know, the time it takes. And there's me on crouching. Speeds it up, but it also makes me make a lot of mistakes. So I went back to crouching. Now it's starting to become night. The top of the greenhouse, occasionally creepers or spiders or zombies might spawn up there. So it's always good to, you know, until you get your torches down and your ceiling enclosed, to take a break. I can't remember if I keep going or not. I think I do. Almost done. I can crouch at this point just to make it faster. And I'm done. Ceiling's done. I'm gonna go back into the bed for a little bit just to get back to daytime, just so I'm not worrying about creepers or anything like that. to get a little bit more glass. It's starting to get there. We're getting some progress made on it. And come back up here just to show you. Now you could start constructing the trees, planting them, and waiting for the wood if you wanted to, but I like to build walls. I've discovered that creatures will spawn in here, so I like to have it a little bit protected from stuff blowing up. Also, building on sand makes it easier to rebuild. By making it at least 2 blocks high, you can make it kind of harder for creatures to get in. So really only spiders at this point should be able to get in here if they try to crawl around the ceiling or anything, or the walls. So, you know, personally for me, this is the point where I would start planting the trees, just cause. But and here I'm placing the pressure plates down just to make the doors open automatic. I thought it was kind of a nifty thing to do. I've tried to put switches in, but the trees, when they grow, kind of pop them out. It doesn't seem to do that with pressure plates. So we're almost there. We just got to fill in approximately 5 blocks around. And what I'm doing here is I'm just jumping up into the glass and placing down the 3rd block, and I fall through the door here. Well, what I should have done is jumped over the door and maybe placed a little glass bridge there, but I come back and think about it for a minute and get back on it. Oh, use sand instead of glass. It's kind of a common mistake. I do that a lot. Gotta watch for that. And then I'll turn around here and I'll just continue in a line. Do this line. Oh, I missed one. Finish out the line. And then I'll do another line. Now up here I like to turn around. I like to finish out the corner, and then I'll turn around here, and then I'll do 3 blocks at a time on the bottom. Then I'll clean out the top. Then I'll do another 3 blocks, clean out the top. Jump out, and you'll hurt yourself if you do this wrong, but your sand placement's a little important. Fill out the hole, dig out the sand, and then I got 1 wall finished. And so now I do the other 4. Torch placement's important too. what I like to do for the torches is I'll place one every other block or so. Tree growth and plant growth in the game has a limit. The sun is the maximum limit, and then the least minimum limit, it's something like a torch being like 12 blocks away or something like that. I forget exactly, but for maximum growth I like to place torches fairly close to each other so that even in the middle of the night the trees will grow. And same thing I've just been doing before. I just, finish 3 or 4, and then, on the bottom, finish out the top. Come back down, fill in the hole, and work on the next wall. Very important to have extra glass, just in case you screw up, or really if creatures try to destroy it, creepers and whatnot. I got smarter now. Started putting a little glass bridge around the door so I could just jump around it. Went too far, so I had to destroy some of the glass. Don't be afraid to make mistakes in the game. It's kind of the beauty of the game, is you can destroy and rebuild as often as you want. Alright, one more wall left. It's looking good. And I'm done. At least with the main structure. Looking pretty good. Glass all around so it'll protect from outside invaders. I don't have to worry about skeletons breaking in, or endermen or creepers. The occasional zombie might knock on the door, but that's why eventually we'll put a fence around. I come back up here just to show everybody what it looks like. 8 blocks high with the 8th block being the ceiling. Now, torch placement. And you'll need a full stack of torches to do this right. Now, as you see, the torches are lighting up everything. And if I space the torches farther away, it would probably still grow okay, but I'm trying to go for maximum efficiency. Plus, lighting it up doesn't hurt. Keeps the creatures out. Probably a little overkill, but I don't care. So the base design for the greenhouse is all done. It's all lit. It's protected. It's got a ceiling. I'm going to go back to sleep real quick so it turns in the daylight. It's just easier to work in the daylight. Once I have it fenced in, I won't have to worry about going to bed as much. Pull some fences out. I like to keep my stuff well protected. People think using stone's a better idea to protect stuff, but I think fence is just a easier and cheap material. But, you know, to each his own. Plus it allows me to see invaders from outside. So before I do the fence, first thing I'm going to do is put the trees in. Now, besides being a farm, like a greenhouse farm for wood, trees also give apples on occasion, so while it's not extremely efficient, you can still get a source of food from this. You gotta have roughly 1 1/3 stack of trees. Obviously, if you're doing this by yourself and you don't have a giant stack of glass to begin with, you're gonna have to make a bunch of sand. So it's probably not the worst thing in the world to tear down a forest. Essentially, what you're doing is you're just creating your own portable, you know, storage fortress or storage forest. You know, it's just a more or less a self-contained forest inside. So hopefully you've been, you know, using wood instead of coal, since especially on the 360 your resources are somewhat limited. Not to mention wood can be used to make coal, charcoal. So wood's got quite a bit of importance in the game. Almost everything can be made using wood to burn it. I mess up here a little bit. I'll go over on my measurements, but that's alright. We'll dig it out real quick. Now you can build, you know, when you're doing a fence like this, I like to go at least 3 high. 3 seems to be just long enough tall enough for spiders to take their time getting around. Also protects skeletons from shooting you with bows and arrows. Some of my trees are already grown. It's looking good. Now, this is just in a desert, in a forest biome. So if you planted this in the forest somewhere, or even in the jungle, the trees' colors will change. In the desert, they're kind of dying looking. They're, you know, brownish and kind of look like they're about ready to die. In the forest, they turn lush green. Never done one in a jungle, but I imagine it turns green as well. And I use normal spruce saplings. I don't use the white kind or the jungle trees. Jungle trees, you need a greenhouse much taller to build a jungle tree, because jungle trees can grow pretty tall. But the white trees, the behaviors of the spruce trees that I use. The just normal trees from any normal forest seem to work the best, in my opinion anyways. Now I'm going to crouch down as I'm building this last part of the fence so I don't fall off. And as you can see in the top left corner, the tree greenhouse is growing pretty nice. And you have to wait a little bit for all the trees to grow, but you know, even in the few minutes we've done this, you know, the trees have grown so much that I could have probably replaced all the wood I've used to build the fence and probably the glass, and so it's kind of nice. So, I almost thought about taking out the door here, but I'm going to leave it in for now. I'm going to go back and get some more torches. Keeping everything well lit is always important when you're building stuff. I want to protect the villagers, like I said, for future videos. Now building the fence and lighting it up, that really isn't part of the tutorial. I did this to keep my stuff protected. You know, you spend the time making stuff like this, you want to be able to appreciate it and not have to worry about rebuilding it 8 trillion times over. Now I'm spacing the torches a little bit farther apart in here. I'm not really growing anything, but I want to keep everything well lit, prevent creatures from attacking. Still crouching, that's why I'm going at a slower pace. And all of this can be done on the PC just as much as it can on the Xbox. It should be able to be done just on the PlayStation just as much. It's kind of the beauty of this game, is that almost all the games react the same way. In fact, I think the phone and Android and Apple versions are catching up to this. I don't know if you can grow stuff in there yet. I think you can. Placing torches on the outside, just to, you know, added bonus just to protect everything. Plus it wastes a little time to let the trees grow. So the greenhouse is done, and now I'm gonna just come back after probably another 20 minutes or so, and I got a full greenhouse. Now, as you can see inside the greenhouse, some of that stuff is growing at a uniform rate. And I just wanted to go to the top of this mountain just to show people, you know, what it is that, you know, it's around. It's all desert, different biomes, you know, pretty classic 360 map, but there's the trees. And I'm not going to show tearing down the greenhouse just because that'll take too long, but when you farm your trees, you know, you might have a couple saplings left in there, so you can leave them in there to grow or just temporarily take them out. All the branches will naturally fall apart and allow you to get more apples and saplings. So, and you know, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple to build and get you a lot of wood really quick, in my opinion, instead of having to tear down a whole forest and walk a ways. I just want to say thanks, guys, and hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully maybe you have questions. Feel free to ask. And have a good day, you guys. Thanks.